Ready. Play.
Felix Auger-Aliassime is coming up against Alexander Zverev in what is basically a quarterfinal, a shootout between these two players to see who will make it through in the group and qualify for the semi-finals. Felix is obviously making his second appearance at this event, whereas Alexander Zverev is a multiple serial appearer at this event. Of course, he's won it twice as well, in 2018 when it was held at the O2 Arena, and then more recently in 2021 after it moved to Turin. As you can see, the current ranking going into the tournament, Felix Auger-Aliassime at number 8 and Alexander Zverev at number 3. But the head-to-head is very much in favor of Zverev, 6-3 in his favor. In terms of the form coming into this, well, Zverev and Felix have had a couple of bumps in the road, so to speak. Both, of course, have won one match and lost one match. Zverev came through his first match, beating Ben Shelton in straight sets. Sinner overcame Zverev in the second match, so Zverev lost that one 6-4, 6-3 just a few hours ago. And yeah, Zverev had chances, and it was certainly a much closer affair than their recent match in Paris-Bercy, albeit with a small asterisk of a minor injury that Zverev picked up during that match. It was closer, and there are chances for Zverev. He had them in Vienna in the final recently there when he went down 7-5 in the third. But he's still losing. And he's still showing signs of being a bit passive, especially on the forehand, I think, when the moments are big, including today at times. He had so many break points on the Jannik Sinner serve today, and yet wasn't able to take any of them. I think it was 7. So that's not great. But against Felix, he must fancy his chances. Felix came through today in 3 sets over Ben Shelton. Felix didn't have a great return day, but he was lucky that Ben had an even worse return day. Felix was solid, I would argue, from sets 2 onwards, so during sets 2 and 3, albeit that set 1, I think he was quite far off. It got broken twice, but then he didn't get broken again in those second and third sets. In his first match, he went down in straight sets to Jannik Sinner, appeared to pick up a calf injury, but there was no signs of that injury today, so that's extremely good news for Felix going into this clash. Coming back to their head-to-head and just looking at some of their previous encounters, the most recent clash between the two did go the way of Felix at the US Open, albeit after losing the first set, but he did win that match in 4 sets, in what at the time felt like a bit of a surprise. But Felix's form since then, as he's approached his indoor goatness period that he loves at this time of the year, which has also helped him secure a spot at these finals. Also, Felix making the final at Paris Masters, etc., etc. He has felt like, and that US Open run, by the way, when he pushed Jannik in the semi-finals, I would argue, albeit again fading away, especially on the turn against the Italian. But you can see they're fairly much chopping and changing. It's actually the first 3 matches that went the way of Zverev that is helping him have this 3-match advantage. He won those first 3 matches. The 6 matches that have followed have been shared. In fact, there's a 5-set classic that went the way of Felix's at Wimbledon in 2021. Zverev got some kind of revenge, you could argue, in a 3-set win in Vienna. Then it was Felix at the ATP Cup in 2022 and so on and so forth. But they've only played each other twice in the last 3.5 years. So not a huge sample size in recent years. And yeah, the most recent events in Miami going Zverev's way. And then, of course, as I said, more recently, the way of Felix in New York. So which way do I see this going? Well, pre-tournament, I had Felix emerging from the group along with Jannik Sinner. And I'm going to stick with it. If Felix can have an excellent serving day, I think he probably wins this one in 3 extremely tight sets. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.